What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today, I want to get into Joe Douglas finally speaking with the media. So we got some insight on the Haason Reddick situation and good news revolving around Mike Williams. He is ready for the start of the season, but how ready is the question? Obviously, the big takeaway here was always going to be what Joe Douglas had to say about Haason Reddick. And before we get into the quotes, I always feel tough for Robert Saleh. I am going to give some empathy to Robert Saleh because during the season and even in the offseason, not when they're away, but during OTAs and training camp, the whole thing, Robert Saleh speaks with the media multiple times a week, throughout the week. And after a tough loss, he's got to be up there answering the questions, the whole thing. If you had to guess over the course of a season, how many times is he speaking to the media? I can't even, 50 to 100? I don't know. I'm not a math guy, never claimed to be, but moral of the story, a decent amount. Joe Douglas, on the other hand, talks to the media like, without exaggeration, roughly 3 times a year. And this was one of those times. So he doesn't have to answer the Haason Reddick questions very often. Saleh going up there every day does, but it was good, moral of the story here, it was good for for Joe Douglas to be up there to have to answer, there we go, the questions on Haason Reddick. And here's what he had to say. First, what he thought about the Haason Reddick situation.
So where do things stand with Haason Reddick right now?
Nothing's changed from our end. Obviously, a ton of respect for Haason and awaiting his arrival, and looking forward to when he does. He's going to be welcomed with open arms.
Do you expect him to be here before the opener?
I can't lay out any expectations right now, but when he does arrive, we're all going to be excited.
Douglas says he's got a ton of respect for Haason Reddick. He's awaiting his arrival. They'll welcome him back with open arms. This has been the company line since training camp began, really since mini camp, OTAs for 3 months. This has been essentially been the thing. Joe Douglas was also asked if they talked extension. Here's what he had to say on the extension conversation.
Why didn't you renegotiate the contract before executing the trade?
Well, I mean, in simple terms, we did talk about an extension once one wasn't agreed upon. We had the conversation and we felt good about making the trade. And so, obviously, came here, reported, had a great day here, and again, we're just waiting his arrival.
Do you feel like there can't renege on a verbal agreement to play under his existing contract?
I'd say that again, from our standpoint, we've been really clear and direct with our communication, and again, a lot of respect for the agent, a lot of respect for the player, and I have faith that this will all get resolved.
All right, so essentially here is the timeline. They did talk extension before the trade was made. Couldn't agree to anything. Did the trade anyway. Figured that they would get to it eventually or rework it in some capacity. Now, the Jets are very much so like staying put, standing on business, if you will, that they will not negotiate with Haason Reddick without him there. Reddick is attempting to call the bluff and say, okay, let's wait this out. You'll eventually negotiate with me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think Haason Reddick is getting the best advice in this situation. I do think he should be there. I think a hold in like what's happening with Jamar Chase or Brandon Ayuk, like all those guys, I think that would have made a little bit more sense. That's not the case. He's doing a holdout. He's getting fined out the wazoo. It's up around $5 million that he's lost from this holdout. Just crazy, crazy money. With that being said, again, I want to make it clear, I don't think Reddick and his team have handled this correctly. From the Jets side, I think they have to budge a little bit. I'm not saying you fold and go, hey, here's a 4-year contract extension. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is maybe you get on the phone with the agent and be like, listen, we are both represented by the same agency. Douglas is represented by CAA. Haason Reddick's represented by CAA. Let's meet somewhere. Let's talk. Let's see if we could do something. This whole steadfast on we're not going to negotiate with terrorists line, like, it's a bit much. It's a bit much, and I think they should at least be open to the idea of talking or speaking with Haason Reddick and his team and trying to get something figured out, because the longer this goes, the less likely he's going to play. Unless he's showing up on Monday. Like, I don't know what the plan is, but the game is very, very rapidly approaching. While the Haason Reddick situation is incredibly frustrating and draining, frankly, we did get some good news from Robert Saleh on Mike Williams. As a reminder, he returned to team activity today, and Robert Saleh said that he'll be ready for week 1.
What's Mike Williams been able to do today and Tuesday?
Yeah, he got back in the team. Actually, I had a really nice day today. I think he had like 4 or 5 catches and well over 100 yards. But I thought he had a really nice day today.
Is it fair to expect him to hit the ground running in week 1, or
That wouldn't be fair. He's gonna be available week 1, but to expect him to be 100%. But he's definitely going to be. We're going to be very smart with how we use him, but he's going to be plenty available to make his mark felt.
So Mike Williams will be playing in week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. The question is, how much is he expected to play? Now, he's not 100%, so I wouldn't anticipate him being like 97% of snaps. But can he get, I don't know, maybe 3 targets in the game? 3 to 5 targets? I'm not saying he's going to be like, 8 catches, 125 yards. Welcome back, Mike Williams. But I don't know, maybe, in certain situations, maybe get him out there. The Jets haven't had him a whole lot, so they've ran a lot of Allen Lazard out wide. I would think that we see Lazard, Garrett Wilson, and Xavier Gibson in the slot when the Jets go 3 wide in week 1. Eventually, even in the game, Mike Williams will get worked in, because they like to get Garrett in the slot and all those things. Eventually, Mike Williams, I think, is going to get to 100% and be an effective number 2 receiver. I just think we should temper our expectations for Mike Williams for the first 3 to 4 weeks of the year. When the calendar flips to October, hell, maybe that week 4 game against Denver that the Talking Jets crew will be at, maybe that'll be the time, which is a month from today, that what Mike Williams starts to become a little bit more involved. And it's not going to be an every week thing. Again, I don't think this is a number 2 receiver who's going to end with like 800 yards this year. I just think they're going to spread it around too much. But will he have a couple games where maybe goes like 80 plus yards and a touchdown this year? Yeah, I think so. But other than that, maybe somewhere in like the 30 to 45 yard range most weeks, and just a couple of catches in some key spots. That's my expectation for him. The media caught up with Mike Williams and asked him how it felt to get back out there.
Like, how did it feel to get back out there in team drills?
Oh, it felt good. It was amazing. Caught some passes today, got some yards in, so it felt good.
So Saleh announced to us today that you're going to be good to go for
Well, I feel good. I mean, what I expected. I was putting the work in this whole time to make myself available to perform this season. So it all paying off at the right time.
He felt good. He's excited. All the company lines there too, and good for him. I'm happy for Mike Williams. There's a long recovery on those ACLs. He tore it all the way back in week 3 last year, so it's almost a full year that he's been in this recovery process. It's really not easy for these guys. So I have a lot of compassion for these players, and I think it's awesome that he's trying to make this comeback. And, again, I think eventually he becomes a factor in this offense. Bring him on slowly. You need him 100% in, December and beyond football. It's okay if September and early October, maybe he's not 100%. And if that's the case, then you have to start getting creative. Luckily, you have Breece Hall, who I would not be surprised at all if he finished second in the team in receptions and receiving yards, just like a year ago. Tyler Conklin, I expect to have a bigger role. Xavier Gibson, they like a lot. Quiet summer for Malachi Corley, but maybe we see him come on strong in the second half of the year. And of course, you have guys like Alan Lazard and Braylon Allen, and they're going to run the football too. So I'm not too worried about that. But this is the main takeaways from the press conferences from Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh. I want to hear from you. What are your takeaways? Sound off below in the comments. Get after me on social media. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Give a like before you go, and I'll catch you next time.